The moment is now. Are you ready? Ready to own the land,
Hello everyone, welcome and let's play Armis. Today I'm gonna show you to push all our allied pieces by the movers and its limitation. And also by doing this game, we will try to move our powerless reserve when it is not activated and to push our immobile flag after the president is taken by the opponent. So that's our goal for now, and let's begin the game. So as usual, the opponents move first, so we need to push first the aircraft carrier to the coastal waters, and then next is the submarine on the eastern sea to control it. So we need to put our submarine to the eastern sea. Now let's wait for our turn. Okay, let's push our nuke to block the opponent's president by our helicopter, so that the helicopter will not be taken. So in this situation now, we will need to try to push our marine to the army so that we can see if it is okay to push the marine to take a friendly fire, but it's not. As you can see, it's not doable, so we need to try another one, which is to push our marine to onboard in our aircraft carrier if it is okay. So let's try it. If it is okay for the computer to onboard our submarine to our aircraft carrier, so still not. So instead we will onboard our marines now to the submarine, which is located at the eastern sea. So let's post now our mover to the back of the coast guard so that we're ready to push it to the coastal water to control our great sea. So the opponent's marine is at the expanse area, so we need also to push our other marines. So now it is clear that it is not possible for the mover to push one of our allied to take a friendly fire, and also to push one of our allied to take on board in one of our sea vessels, especially in the aircraft carrier, which is we try to push our marines to onboard on the aircraft carrier. So now we will take also our helicopter now in front of the mover so that we can push the helicopter to take a new flight path. And I will also we'll take the mover at the back of the marine so that we can push the marine to the southport to the okay, let's push now. So now the opponents is moving towards the Great Sea in the coastal waters. So we need to bring our army in front of the mover so that we will move the army. Now let's make a very good position here, a very good defensive position, so that we can win this game. But first we need to push all our allied pieces to comply our goal, and which is very hard to comply. So we need to push our offensive player in front, so that if anything's happen, if one of our players taken by our opponent, it should be moved first by the mover, so that we can comply the mission that we have now, which is very complicated. So as you can see, the opponents are at the expanse area, making a very good defensive and offensive position. So that is why I want to put all our offensive player in front of them, which is already posted by our mover. Now let's post the media now. So now we're ready to post our powerless reserve. So as you can see, the reserve is still powerless, not activated, so we will need to post it if it is okay to post our powerless reserve. Okay, so as you can see, our powerless reserve is, we can post it even if it is still not yet activated, or it is still powerless. So now let's continue. So it's better we'll post now our media on that side, so that we can take our child in front of the mover, and then we will post the child before we will forget the child to push. Before we will win this game, we need to post the remaining player pieces. So post the jeep now to have also another flight path, and it's good to put our vice president on that side, so that we can post the vice president beside of the reserve. So let's post first the, okay, so we have still two players still not moving, the flag and the diplomat. So we need to post the diplomat now in front of our mover, so that we can move the diplomat back on its place. Before our president will be taken by our opponents, we will need to post first our flag, because if our president is taken at this time, we cannot move our, or we cannot try to move our flag if our flag is still on that position. So let's move the flag, and let's post it on that position beside of the reserve. So now let's continue and let's have a good defensive and offensive position in our game now. So I'm bothered with the nuke, with the opponent's nuke in front of our allied, so maybe we can take it by our child so that it will be good for, or it is advantageous for us to take the nuke first. So now we are complete with our mission. We only one have left remain, which is to move our flag in which our president is taken by the opponent. So but before we sacrifice, or before we sacrifice our vice president and our president, we need to be sure that we can win this game. So we're now ready to take the opponent's nuke, for it is very alarming for us if it is armed. So we have not to worry now. So let's continue. So our opponents are focusing their defense on the expanse area, and the seaside region area is not only the opponent's president is guarding, so maybe we can pass on that way, for it is easy for our allied to go that way instead in the expanse area. So let's continue now. So we need to take the reserve of the opponents, so the mover of the opponent, so that the two vessels will stack on land. So let's take the opponent's mover now, and we can be sure that the reserves of the opponent's reserve will not be activated for unless the two vessels stuck on the land will be taken by our ally, but I don't have to do that. So let's continue. Let's put our army on board on the coast guard in the Polar Valley to treat the opponent's president. Now the opponent's president is avoiding our army, so we can now have a fully control the Great Sea and the Eastern Sea. So if the opponent's president will take our vice president, our army will take charge. So it's not taking our bait, so it's good to take back our vice president to cover our reserve. So I have difficult to solve the opponents at the expanse area. So now my plan is to take control first the opponent's flag before we sacrifice our president and our vice president. So as you can see, if we want to make this game win now, or we want to make this game finish, we could, but still we have a mission to accomplish, so we must be patient first. Try to focus so that we can achieve our goal here now. So let's onboard our marine to back up our army if we're ready to take the opponent's flag now. So if the opponents will take our army, we can take also the opponent's army by our marines. So now let's see if still I have no plan to how to get through at the expanse area. Maybe we will move our jet to the in between of the submarine and the coast guard, the red submarine and the red coast guard, so that we can have a very clear picture here to make a defensive or to make an offensive attack. So as you can see, the marines is not taking our bait, so maybe it's alright to take first the reserve in preparation if something will happen to our territory at the expanse area. Still I'm clueless how to make a, so maybe the opponent's marine will take our army, but we don't have to worry, for we have our backup, our other marines on board the aircraft carrier. Or if we want to win this game now, we could, but we need to see first if we can move our flag without the presence of our president, and or while the flag is in immobile situation or state. So let's push our vice president on and beside of the religion. Maybe it's better to, no, it's not a good idea. No, maybe we will move our vice president beside of the religion to back up our president. So we will need, as what I have expected, our army is taken by the opponent's marine. So we are ready now to sacrifice one of our president and our vice. So we need to sacrifice our president now so that our vice president will take over as president, and we will also sacrifice it. So let's push it in front of the marines, and if the marines or the army will take our president, our vice will take charge. The army is taking our president, so we will take also the army. Now the opponent's marine is taking our president. So it's not taking our president, so we will take the helicopter. Let's see if the vice president of the opponents will not take our president. Okay, they take our. So now the flag is immobile state now. Let's pause it if it is okay. It's okay. So even if our flag is in immobile situation, we can still post our flag. So let's take the opponent's flag now, and that's it. We win the game. That's all for today. Thank you.